All right, I have finally got this amp in my possession. I have been hunting this amp on Marketplace since May. It's December, so the seller wanted way too much for it for the condition it was in, so it sat for a really long time, and finally worked out a price that made sense. I got down to town where it is. It's located in the next big city, about 2 hours from me, and there was definitely some more issues that were not visible in the photos. The seller was not an amp person. This was an inheritance from a passing relative. So I'm really excited to get this. I'm definitely not an amp wizard, but I'm a amp enthusiast and electrical engineering student and just rock and roll history nerd. So I'm excited to kind of make a series of videos on getting this thing back up and running, because it is going to take a little bit of work. I got it on the desk just to kind of show how it's looking. It definitely was probably stored in a non-air conditioned environment. There's definitely some cigarette burns and some rock and roll life into this thing. So it lived a really cool life at one point. So I'm gonna get it popped open and let's take a look at the inside. Okay, chassis pulled out, top side on the desk here. So kind of the first major issue, when I picked this up from the seller, I heard rattling in there. I was like, oh God, that's not a good sign. So both transformers are completely have broken hinges. So I don't even really know how to go about that. I'll be asking the internet, looking online for that. Phase inverter circuit board is pretty exposed to the elements, so I imagine most of that's gonna need to get swapped out. Let's check this guy out. We got oh, nice. One little preamp tube, so it's a pretty simple circuit. It runs off, it has the original KTA 88s, but one of them was, the inner piece was broken. So I ordered some new tubes there. So pretty dusty, pretty weather exposed. That's just flopping off too. So definitely got some repair work on my hands. All right, chassis is flipped over, and I did find out that the serial number here started on these Wests with 1000. So this is the 7th Grande made, almost like prototype level. Turret board, obviously there's like a sort of Dynaco phase inverter circuit board kind of just married into the circuit. And I can't find an actual Grande schematic, so I'm running off the Fillmore one. So if anyone's got some advice there, that would be good. I mean, it doesn't seem that complicated. It's nothing that I'm completely tripping on. You gotta, death caps right there. So we'll fix that. We'll do the 3-prong cord. We'll swap out all the caps, get all of the loose connections back together. But yeah, certainly got some work to do. We have got transformers secured to the chassis. So ended up consulting some of the old wizards online and just good old brackets installed through the core. Just right on the chassis, did the job. So we are we're on our way. I got it cleaned up a little bit too. It's pretty dusty and disgusting. I'm gonna go over it again. It also reeked of cat piss. So I'm guessing, especially on this side right here, I'm guessing a lot of what that rust is probably pee and corrosion and stuff that was over here, I think was from urine. So that was gross, but it's all cleaned up now. I also did continuity tests, just the basic continuity tests on all the windings, and the transformers are looking good. So I know they're looking a little rusty and worn, but they should work good. So step one, getting everything secured to the chassis is done. Today's a fun day. Got a package in the mail with all of our components to update and restore our West. So I thought it'd be fun just to open it up and kind of talk about what I got, and we'll dive into it more as the video progresses, but I'll just kind of open up and see what we have here, what we're gonna do. Okay. So I ordered from Amplified Parts. Big shout out to those guys. Definitely use them. Oh, these are for another project of mine. If you need any amplifier or electronic needs, really, those guys are awesome. Local to Arizona too. So hometown heroes. Do a little rep there for the boys at Amplified Parts and gals. Okay, so first order of business, we got our 3-prong cord. We are going to get rid of the depth cap on this amp that pretty much all amps had back in the day, and I'll talk about that a little bit more when we zoom into the chassis. So yeah, we're going to install a proper, safe, grounded 3-prong cord. I've got all of our updated filter caps, and I looked through the schematic and I noticed a pretty odd filter cap arrangement, and asked online and consulted ChatGPT, and decided on updating that to a bit more juicy, powerful power filter section, and I'll go over that in the chassis as well. But just to show what I got here, let's see. Oops. Here's our big filter guy. They only had one with 2 of these in here, so I'm just gonna have to use that. And I didn't realize I had bought, I think that's just an extra one I didn't mean to get. That's all right. Anyway, power filter caps, we'll take care of that. And then here are some other oh, yep, couple of 5-watt resistors for the screens on the power tube, which just does not have. Very surprising considering it runs off of big bottle KT88s or 6550. So I want to put those on. Where did I get these? Oh, these are for some other projects, sorry. And oh, yep, got some 5-watters for our 5-watt 1Ks for the biasing section that I was going to add to. So that's the main stuff we got here. And I do have a couple of other, these are for some other projects on the ProSonic that I'm going to work on in a little bit. And then also I had to order some new tubes. I went with some NOS rubies. These are from the 80s. I found a really good deal on these. I don't have a ton of money to be spending like hundreds and hundreds of dollars on tubes on a potentially unstable circuit. So I found these for $60 for the pair. And I said, you know, they met the criteria. They can handle high voltage, and they had a slightly stronger getter than other rubies later on, apparently, from what I read. So that's what the internet said, guys. All right, so we're back. we've made quite a bit of updates now. So if you take a look here, we had just one big can cap right here and the two capacitors in series right here. We've removed that now. We're completely replaced this with 100 UF power filter right here. And then our two 30s right here and a 45 right here. And then we've got our cathode sense resistors that we've added for biasing right here. And then we've got our screen grid resistors that we've added, 5 watt, 1K resistors to the screens. So that pretty much like completes all the sort of modern updates that makes this thing safe. Oh, and we just made sure we updated our grounding for these caps as well. And I think we're damn near ready to turn it on. There's a couple other things I did just to reflow some solder, but I think we're ready to test out if it can turn on without exploding. This will be the real moment. Let's see what happens. They're not biased yet, but when I flick the standby on, they should start glowing.
I see some illumination.
And it's steady. Dude. Oh shit. You got a fucking guitar in, dude? Okay, hold on. Plug a guitar in. All right, we got the Grand West on. Maybe the first time this amp's been turned on in like 50 years, and it works. Okay, man, this amp has brought me to the edge of the earth and back in terms of my sanity. And it's crazy because there's nothing even to this amp, you know? But this has been one of the most frustrating and annoying repair endeavors ever. And, you know, a lot of it just goes back to me just gaining experience because I'm not, you know, I'm not an amp tech. I just do this for fun, trying to learn how to be one sort of, just for bragging rights, really. But to get to the meat of what the hell happened. All right. So when I got this amp, it was all original. I don't think it had ever been opened prior to the person who built it and packed it up and sold it to the person. I opened up the components. It's all original. So when I went to switch out all the pots because they were all bad, including this bias pot right here. There's not really any good schematics on this amp, and there isn't a schematic of the Grande with its bias pot wired. So I just copied the wiring exactly, and it turns out that wiring, I believe, was the crux of all of my issues. See, I pulled this wire out off of the center lug of this pot. There was 2 leads. One goes to the phase inverter, which then splits off. That's kind of your negative bias supply, which made sense to me. And then there's this other lead that tapped in right here. I didn't really know what that was for, but I was like, hey, it's the original design. I'll just copy it. Well, you know, I decided to remove that because I just didn't understand what it was there for. I hadn't seen that in other bias supply pots. And you know what? I have a fucking fully functioning, just solid amp with tubes I can now bias. And I think I'm fucking done with this thing. I'm so glad. as much as I love this amp, I'm tired of looking inside of it. And I am just happy that it's sounding good. And sorry, I'm trying to move this. Not very good at it. Okay, let's get some tones going here. I'm running this through my shop cab. It's a 212 with 1960s Alnico SROs. It's a really nice cab. Yeah. So I think I'm done. It looks good. It's basically completely redone at this point. There's not much left I have not completely redone, except for this. I think the only original part now fully is the rectifier section, a couple carbon copper resistors, and the PI board. Literally everything else has been fixed, repaired, and replaced in this amp. So, glad to be done. I'm going to get this back in the cab, back in its head shell, and we'll finally demo it. I already tried demoing this amp once, but when I finally got to turn it up, because, you know, I don't want to ignore, disrupt my entire city block, it sounded really bad. Like the distortion was just awful. There's a lot of blocking distortion. There's no master volume on this. So the only way you can really test that is to crank it to 10. I'm not going to crank it to 10 right now. I'll do it in the demo, but it sounds much better. I did it off camera, and it's way better sounding. So anyway, this is the Grande. It is a cool amp. It's weird that I'm so annoyed by it because I want to love it because it's so cool, but I'm mad at it right now. So that's where I'm at. All right, and just a quick shot of the other side of this chassis. I did go ahead and replace these black cats with some nice big orange drops. One of them was leaky in my mission to uncover all the things with this amp. So I just replaced both of them. So we got some 80s Sovtech KT88s in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, I'm headed from Rockwall, Texas to Hearst, Texas because I found a West guitar cabinet, 215 guitar cabinet to match my West Grande Head. I cannot even believe that this is happening. I bought the West Grande Head in Phoenix, Arizona after seeing it on Marketplace for months and months and months. I've restored it. I've been playing it a whole bunch on a 2x12 cabinet that I had custom made. And now we're gonna go be able to hear one of these things fully put together. And I'm just losing my mind. So I had to remind myself to record a video because it's gonna be really cool. So here we go. Okay, got an official West 215H cabinet. This is the heaviest cabinet I have ever owned. Let's see if we can take this grill off. Here, it's got this old style Velcro. Hold on. Okay. you've got some beautiful speakers in this thing with EV horn tweeters too. So definitely like a bass cab, PA cab situation. I got to figure out what speakers themselves these are. So I'll be taking this apart soon, but oh my God, this is really cool. I paid $250 for this thing, plus a guitar pedal in trade with this guy. He was really cool. I think I even met a new friend because he actually happens to have an empty Super 6 cabinet, which I'm also in the middle of restoring. So, and the cabinet that I have is completely dry rotted from spending years and years in a South Texas garage. So a lot of really great come-ups today. Really excited to try this out. The speaker jack's gone, so I gotta figure that out. I gotta take this apart and I gotta move it. This thing is heavy, dude. Like probably 200 pounds. I'm not even kidding. I can't believe I moved this myself, but so there we go. Today's haul. So through some serious blood, sweat, and tears, literally, I stabbed my finger with a drill bit. I was able to pry one speaker off. I don't know why someone would do this, but the frames were glued into the cabinet. I can't seem to get the back panel of the cabinet off. I can't see where there's any screws, but it is jammed shut. So finally got to the point where I could pull out a speaker and I wanted to check it out. So let's do it. Okay. So we got a 9576 in tape, ginormous ceramic magnet. And yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. Why would they? You know, that might not have been glue. That might have been the, that's the, like kind of the gasket that was around the unit, just kind of fused to the speaker cabinet. So we got a little tear there that I'll patch up. Yeah, wow. Step one, we got speakers. I don't know what kind they are. I will ask the internet. All right, we also got a few of these sweet ED horns. So this is definitely probably like more of a PA cab, I'm guessing. I really honestly have no idea, but definitely not a guitar cab I'm familiar with. So inside of the speaker enclosure there's a crossover network for these somewhere. I saw a little crossover capacitor. So maybe that's just that one. So yeah. Here's my patch job on this little tear that was on the speaker. I just took some coffee filters and some tacky glue and made a little patch there, and it's looking good. Oh my God, this thing's heavy. So you want to call that good. I added some more surround glue to the cone as well, just because these totally have a tendency to start cracking and buzzing. So I just preemptively did that because I know it'll happen. I've had these same exact vintage of speakers, several pairs, and they all needed to do this after I started using them. So put it back in. Here's our complete 1967 West Grande Head and a West 215H cabinet. Surly, stout, heavy, pure authentic vintage rock and roll. Next, I'm going to go ahead and mic it up, and we'll do some sound demos, both just in the room and backing tracks. Stay tuned.